Welcome back, YouTubers, to part 2 of our Survivor Series Memories Wednesday topical video for you guys, leading us into the build-up to Survivor Series 2011. We are the British Fist.
Coaching.
I am Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me is the all-knowing NJ.
What's up?
Indeed. Right, subscribe up above, like this video, comment your thoughts, any memories or anything like that of Survivor Series in the lead-up to Survivor Series in that comment section down below.
And make sure you contact us in the links in the description below.
And we ended up in the Millennium 2000. Now we're better off to start off when a Survivor Series which had a lot of significance because it was the end of what was essentially the invasion storyline when WCW and ECW came together. This was the year after. This was just after WrestleMania 17 when WCW went out of business, and this was the whole alliance thing and how this all ended. Just give your thoughts quickly on the whole invasion storyline.
If you've watched our past videos, we've briefly mentioned this in our SummerSlams,
yeah.
And to be honest, I wasn't a real fan of it. Yes, there was moments that stood out in it, but to be honest, it weren't the greatest thing. So the fact that we're going to talk about it now, we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the problem is here. I mean, look at the teams. Team WWF: The Rock, Jericho, Undertaker, Kane, and Big Show defeated Austin, Van Dam, Angle, Booker T, and Shane McMahon. Well, Austin, Van Dam, Kurt Angle, and Shane McMahon were essentially WWF. Well, actually, Austin, Angle, and Shane McMahon were essentially WWF guys. The only two alliance guys who had in there was Van Dam and Angle, which shows how many jobbers they had in that. And it just really wasn't a believable storyline, as you had to do so many of these like Austin heel turns and stuff.
To be honest, before this Survivor Series, you did have to try and bring WWF wrestlers into this alliance storyline, get them built up so they had the hatred towards the WWF, put them into this match for it to make believable. And even with the build, I don't think it was that much of a good match.
Yeah, you had The Rock coming out on top. Of course, he was the big baby face. So there we go. That was WWF keeping in business because that wasn't a surprise. On this card, you also had title unification matches. You had Edge versus Test for the IC and United States Championship, even though now it's not unified. But there we go. You had the tag team title match, cage match between Dudley Boys and Hardy Boys. They always put on great matches. Your quick thoughts on those?
With those, again, it's what back then when they were unifying them, it was something different, so that made these pay-per-views special and different. Yeah. And the winners of this match, it was just pretty much strong matches all the way. And
the main event was the Survivor Series match, even though there was only one. We also had Test getting immunity. Yeah, that worked. Should we go on to the next one then?
Yeah, I think
a particular favourite of ours, because we've got the DVD. Survivor Series 2002. This was essentially known for being the first ever Elimination Chamber match. And
it was made by Eric Bischoff, so this was his big moment. He wanted it to work out well, and oh my, did it do good.
It was a great match, because none other than Shawn Michaels, just coming back from a back injury and facing Triple H at SummerSlam 2002, best pay-per-view ever, won the Elimination Chamber, which is a very dramatic moment. And you also had Brock Lesnar turning face, which is a bit weird. And I think you also had the introduction of Scott Steiner. So a couple of moments there, but definitely the main event was the reason why we'd watch this pay-per-view again.
Very true. I think this Survivor Series, again, just like we spoke in the past video, it had its big moment, which was this Elimination Chamber, and it did stand out.
Definitely so. Moving on from 2002, 2003, we have Shane McMahon on the cover here. Couple of things from this. We had a couple of Survivor Series elimination matches too. We also had Goldberg and Triple H, that whole thing. Goldberg coming in and defeating.
You're next.
Yeah, exactly. You had the Evolution thing at its peak here, didn't you? Or the start of the Evolution thing after 2002. Vince McMahon defeated The Undertaker in a buried alive match.
Oh, that was very good because Kane actually helped him win.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
definitely a moment. And you had Team Bischoff defeated Team Austin, and that was the whole Austin getting fired angle. So that had memories in there.
Again.
And Kane defeated Shane McMahon in the
that was a good match.
We loved those matches. And to open the card, you had Team Angle versus Team Lesnar. Well, there you go. That opens the fucking pay-per-view.
We normally say we need to give it a mid-card start, but with this match, for a traditional 5-on-5 match, it was good. I enjoyed it.
And you know who came out on top in this match, don't you?
Which match are we talking about?
The first one.
It was Team Angle.
John Cena, mate. That's who came on top. Bad memory for you. But that was the beginning of his big face run. So there we go. That was a good pay-per-view. I did enjoy that, and we've even got the DVD. Going into Survivor Series 2004, what do we have on this card? It's just a trip down memory lane for me. The main event, Team Orton versus Team Triple H. This is when, again, look at the star power. Orton, Benoit, Jericho, Triple H, Edge, Batista. And you had Snitsky and Maven in there, but they made up the numbers. Star power, my God. Great main event.
For a main event, because this was a rivalry that I really enjoyed, so I was always looking forward to this match. It was the Orton hatred towards Triple H because the whole Evolution thing came to an end. And I think, to be honest, it was a good main event.
Yeah, definitely. And you even had Team Guerrero versus Team Angle. You know, not the greatest of star power in there, but you still had guys like Guerrero, Big Show, Rob Van Dam, Cena, Kurt Angle and his posse. But that was, again, a great rivalry, which was allowed to continue using this Survivor Series concept, wasn't it? Any other standout things from this? Shelton Benjamin defeated Christian in a match for the IC belt.
It's just all I'm going to say is that the rest of that basic in this match were ones that you could believe that could put on a good match because of their history or the way they performed. So I think that was a good pay-per-view.
Right, here, this is a strange one because this was the first time we had a Team SmackDown versus Team Raw. This was essentially what led to the bragging rights thing. But what did you think to this whole SmackDown versus Raw thing, main eventing a Survivor Series?
Something different. They were going to try something different. So I think to give this a go, it was something interesting. Depending on the power of the roster, I think it was basically the power of Raw roster versus the power of SmackDown roster.
It wouldn't really be believable now, would it? Because we know Raw's roster is way better than SmackDown's roster. But back then they were equal, weren't they?
Pretty much equal, yeah.
You had like guys like, you know, Lesnar, Angle. Well, now Lesnar went, but you had the main event scene on each show was pretty equal. So it's kind of shown by this. We also had Cena defeating Angle with Daivari as a special guest referee. You also had Triple H defeating Ric Flair in a last man standing match.
That match, again,
you have memories of this.
Basically, it had some history of Triple H coming back, being angry with Ric Flair, and that storyline going from there. But yeah, it was good.
So last man, it lasted 27 minutes. That must have been a good match. We need to go back and watch one of these Survivor Series. Moving on to 2006. I know we're moving at a fast pace, but there we go. Why did Batista and King Booker defeating King Booker main event the show? That's what I want to know.
Well, it's interesting that you're actually giving SmackDown this whole main event thing. So it's different because you have like Batista having this whole problem with the whole stupid King Booker thing, wanting his championship. So I think, to be honest, it might not have been the best ending for a Survivor Series, but again, it was there. So
you had 3 Survivor Series matches in there. Team Cena defeating Team Big Show. That was over the US belt, I believe. He won the belt at the WrestleMania a similar time. Team DX versus Team Rated RKO, another rivalry there, which was allowed to continue using this Survivor Series concept.
Very true.
Then we had Team WWE Legends versus Team Spirit Squad.
And I'm thinking with the fact that bringing back the Survivor Series, more than one Survivor Series match, it's going to get people remembering the olden days and remember how they used to concentrate on the traditional Survivor Series matches. And we had 3, which were 3 pretty good ones, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, will they have them this year? That's the thing. I don't see it.
There'll only be 1, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, they need more than 1, but, you know, fucking hell. It just shows you how far how little the WWE sort of come on
and the
from.
roster's changed.
And the roster, exactly. That's what I was trying to get out of my fucking mouth. Moving on to 2007, Batista defeated The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match. Always great matches between those two, and especially in Hell in a Cells.
True, you do expect when it comes to Hell in a Cell, Taker is in his home. He's feeling ready to face Batista getting the main event again. Good thing for him.
Definitely, he was a very big draw at the time. So,
very true, yeah.
And you know, Undertaker put him over many times, as we know. Apart from WrestleMania, he was never going to beat him at WrestleMania though. Randy Orton defeated Michaels again. This was another a great match. The two are good workers. For the WWE Championship, when Michaels was banned from using the super kick, and Orton would have lost if he got disqualified. A great match.
I like these stipulation matches at pay-per-view instead of on Raw and SmackDown. So it made this one a lot more interesting, and again, the one thing I'm starting to notice now is standout moments are becoming less now.
Yeah.
They have interesting matches, but no really standout moments.
You also had, I believe, Team Triple H defeated Team Manga. That was a rivalry going on at the time, I remember. I think that for one time that was over the championship when Triple H was a face.
It was interesting because obviously Umaga was this undefeated bulldozer and he was just going out doing everything, and Triple H was obviously the king, so he was going to get his part of Umaga taking him down.
This was 2007, right? Followed a shit SummerSlam, but there we go. You had here also like the 10 Diva tag team match. Yeah, Divas in a tag match kind of counts as a Survivor Series match. But again, we only have 1 Survivor Series match here, but it was a decent one. It's just that, you know, we might wanted a couple more.
We may want to get past the Divas match.
Yeah, let's just go on. Let's just move on.
Yeah, please do.
We get to a Survivor Series now, which we've seen on DVD, 2008. You know, we'll start off with the opener. Team HBK defeated Team JBL. Again, a rivalry there continued the team concept. Rey Mysterio, Crime Time, You know, great. You had Michaels in there. Of course, JBL, Kane, MVP, John Morrison, The Miz.
With that one, I quite like because you had the huge face Shawn Michaels versus the strong heel, who built up brilliantly, JBL. And I'm thinking this was a match that everyone wanted to see just to make Shawn Michaels look the strongest one.
Definitely so. You also had, oh god, the Divas again. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. Wow. A casket match between Undertaker and Big Show, that wasn't very good as far as I remember.
When you think of casket matches, you do think of huge matches, obviously the pressure you got to put into it, but a big guy versus Undertaker, no.
Oh, we had 3 Survivor Series elimination matches in this one. We had Team Orton versus Team Batista as well.
A big rivalry there.
Yep. Edge defeated Triple H and Vladimir, known for the fact that Vladimir, that was a shit match, but Edge came back and won the title. That was kind of like the surprise of this pay-per-view.
I guess that was a surprise, yeah.
Not as big as the others, but still a surprise. Kind of clutching at straws here now. And then we had John Cena defeating Chris Jericho. I think that was John Cena's return or something to a pay-per-view.
And John Cena's rise gradually to the top now. He's starting to get to the point now.
Yeah, he's starting to get to the point where people just don't give a shit about him because we've seen him in the main event way too often. I don't remember that Survivor Series being very good. I remember watching it and just thinking, there.
There weren't many matches that I thought thumbs up to, so not really.
Yeah. Going into 2009 now, we're getting closer to the now. We have 6 matches. We'll start off with the opener. Team Miz defeated Team Morrison. Again, that was like a former tag team, based on a tag team rivalry that they had back in, I think it was ECW at the time.
I wouldn't say it's the biggest opener.
No.
It weren't the best, but at the same time, you are trying to build them up as who's the better of the Miz versus Morrison, so yeah.
Yeah, and your guys, you had Miz, McIntyre, Sheamus, Dolph Ziggler, and Swagger defeating Morrison, Matt Hardy, Evan Bourne, Shelton Benjamin, Finlay. Not a bad set of 10 wrestlers there to open.
And at this particular moment in time, Miz was the one who's going to go rise to the top, so it's good that he actually won this Survivor Series match.
Definitely so. We had Batista defeating Ray. Just a quick match, but they had a rivalry at some point. They were best friends, they were enemies. This is an important one here. Team Kingston defeated Team Orton. Now, this was the time when Kofi Kingston was getting a major push into the main event scene, and we all know what happened there. Orton buried the fucker, and now he's stuck in mid-card hell. Going back to now, it's really amazing to see how little Kingston has now come because of things like this.
Because of the whole evolution, because of the Triple H rivalry, Orton had been built as this huge wrestler, and he's going up against someone like Kofi. So it was a big thing for Kofi, but it's a shame that Orton had to bury him, push him back down because he was getting pushed, but whatever.
In the future, it was such a big moment in Kofi's career. It kind of really stopped his main event, and any chance of him having a main event was stopped there. Undertaker defeated Big Show and Jericho in a triple threat world heavyweight match. Some star power in there. The one we will talk about though is John Cena defeating Triple H and Shawn Michaels. So I think you remember this being a good match.
Again, even though Cena won, I'm gonna look past that because they did put a good fight. Yeah, Shawn Michaels and Triple H all thought they were going to team up on John Cena, but Shawn Michaels, at the beginning of the match, takes out Triple H, and they fight the hell out of the match. So I think that was a good way to finish the match.
You also had another Divas Survivor Series match in there, but whatever. 3 Survivor Series matches there, kind of good though.
But as you can see, we've said the Divas matches, so they did have a lot of emphasis on the Divas back, but now they started to become less and less because they're running out of Divas and none of them are as big as they used to be.
And then we get to Survivor Series 2010. After SummerSlam 2010, where Nexus weren't put over, this was essentially about Randy Orton versus Wade Barrett, with a special guest referee, John Cena. For a main event match, this was kind of disappointing because you had John Cena disqualifying Wade Barrett so that he wouldn't get fired, but also making Orton win. It was kind of stupid, really.
The whole Nexus taking over John Cena, getting what to do, was a big storyline that most people liked because it made Nexus look strong, but at the same time, it didn't make the matches they had at pay-per-views any good. Also
here, we've got, pinpoint this one, Team Mysterio defeated Team Del Rio. Now, this was the start of Del Rio's rise. He had a rivalry with Rey Mysterio the first time he came onto SmackDown. This, although Team Del Rio lost, we've seen what Del Rio has kind of done now. He's now the WWE champion, not booked like a champion, but this was his introductory kind of match. So this has got some kind of significance to it. And
for Del Rio to come into the WWE and go against Rey Mysterio, who had been built up to this strong baby face, it was a good move for him.
Yep.
And then you had him go on to pay-per-view, basing each other to build Del Rio up. So I think they did Del Rio quite justice with Rey Mysterio.
You also had John Morrison defeating Sheamus. Remember their match at TLC? When John Morrison became the #1 contender. Again, that was another good rivalry which allowed John Morrison to get, go into that main event. Even though he's buried now, back then people were kind of getting behind John Morrison a lot, weren't they? And they really thought, even I included, and you at some point, really thought that this guy could be a main eventer.
He's a great performer, but the sad thing is, he had all these great matches in 2010 backwards, but then he gradually lost it, and to be honest, he put on great matches that won't be forgotten though.
Definitely so. In here, I believe you only had one traditional Survivor Series match. So
as you can see, they're getting cut down now.
They are getting cut down. Before we end this though, just give like overall thought. Survivor Series is a very important pay-per-view. We've had a lot of standout moments. Just give your overall thoughts on Survivor Series over time.
I wouldn't say Survivor Series is one of the pay-per-views, because of how it's changed over the years, it's not one of the pay-per-views that I really look forward to watching anymore, sadly. But again, over the years, we've seen some great moments, standout moments that can be remembered, great traditional Survivor Series matches. Yeah. But it's just that as time's gone on, it's become less and less important to me.
Yeah, I mean, just because of the way the lack of Survivor Series matches now. But it's interesting to see how it's gone from all traditional Survivor Series matches and WWE having like a clear vision as to what they're going to be doing at WrestleMania, because they only had the big four back then, to what we see now, which is essentially a bit more choppy and changey kind of thing. But overall, Survivor Series, it's a very good concept. Let's not forget that. The traditional Survivor Series match helps feuds continue. It's also a very exciting match to have. I've never been the biggest fan of Survivor Series matches, but as long as they're good, I can get behind them. And Survivor Series, hopefully in 2011, which is coming up this Sunday, they'll make it good. I really hope this is a good Survivor Series, as it is one of the big four pay-per-views and one of the more important pay-per-views of the year.
I want to call it important, but the way this one's looking so far, we'll go into more later when we make our predictions video, it's just not had the biggest impact on making more than one. We can see maybe one traditional match coming up, but we need to see more, because when they had more than 1, 2 or 3, it was more interesting.
Yeah, and the main draw being Rock and Cena versus Awesome Truth. But we will talk more about that in our predictions video, which we'll upload on the Saturday, no doubt. So so that's been pretty much our sort of overall thoughts on Survivor Series, giving you memories and stuff. Get your thoughts in that comment section down below from the year 2001 to the year 2010. Any memories, standout things you have from your life with these pay-per-views. Get us your thoughts in that comment section down below on the lead up to Survivor Series. I hope this helped you get in the mood for Survivor Series. I know it's kind of helped me get in the mood.
The good thing about it is that we've gone through history, which we need to look back at. Got us interested in wanting to see it again. It gave us the good feeling ready for the pay-per-view. And all I'll say now is, if you haven't seen these Survivor Series, check them out so you get the feeling too. And that's been it from the British Fist, which is Mr. Parkin and me, NJ. Thank you very much for watching a British Fist video. Once again, make sure you subscribe, and goodbye.